Hello, everyone, and welcome to Farm Flint. Today, we are going to be working on yet another sea moss infused winter seasonal recipe of my sweet potato cheesecake parfaits. So let's get it. We're going to be rinsing off 3 sweet potatoes. These are fairly small, so if you have larger ones, just use 1.5. But we're going to fill up a pot halfway with water, set on the stove over medium heat, and allow these sweet potatoes to boil until they are softened. And in the meantime, I will be taking these cookies. They are oatmeal chocolate walnut cookies, and I want to be blending them down to a crumble and adding them to 8-ounce mason jars for the base of this parfait. Now, normally with any other cheesecake recipe, I would use graham crackers. However, I did not want to waste these cookies, and I did not want to spend money on graham crackers that I was just going to use for this recipe. Just wasn't going to do it. So now that my sweet potatoes have softened, I will turn off the heat. You can allow these to cool for about a half an hour or an hour, but I was just trying to get through this recipe. So I rinsed them off with cold water until they were warm enough to handle so I could peel off the skins of these sweet potatoes, which is obviously very easy. And then I'll be placing the flesh back into the pot where I will be adding additional ingredients. Here I'm adding 1/4 distilled water to the pot, and I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of organic ginger powder, 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon powder, 1/4 teaspoon of organic allspice powder, and an eighth teaspoon of organic nutmeg powder. And I'm placing the pot back on the stove over medium low heat, where I will be adding in about 8 ounces of sea moss gel, and this is Jamaican sea moss. To that, I will be adding a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of organic coconut palm sugar, 2 tablespoons of date powder. You're welcome to use dates in place of that. About 2 or 3 should do. Then I'm just chopping up the sweet potatoes with my spatula there just to mix it up a little bit. And then I'm adding in some orange juice. Now, this is optional. I'm using fresh orange juice, but you can surely use store-bought, but you don't even need to use orange juice at all. In this recipe, it is totally optional. So adding about a teaspoon of organic amber agave syrup just to get it sweet enough. When I use sweeteners, I like to use low glycemic, for health purposes. But as you've seen, I use my immersion blender to blend down the sweet potato into a puree, and I'm just allowing that to cool. But in the meantime, I'm taking some cashew cream. Look how creamy that looks. That is a great batch. If you want to learn how to make my cashew cream, I do have a recipe on my YouTube channel. Just feel free to check it out. But again, I love this batch. It turned out so creamy. So I'm using that as my second layer of the parfait. Please don't laugh how I pipe this in. I'm not a piping professional, okay? I just wanted to get the cream in there nice and clean. And I'm going to do the same thing to my cooled sweet potato puree, putting that in a bag. And I made a piping bag out of a Ziploc bag. And I had some piping attachments, so that's what I worked with. So you see here I'm finishing up, and I added the star anise as a garnish. Gorgeous. Placing these into the refrigerator for I'm placing them there overnight, but 4 to 6 hours should do. So this is the next day, and I'm opening up the look. Oh, it's so pretty. So I'm removing the star anise because we're not going to eat that. That was just to make it look pretty. And as you can see, it's pretty firm. The sea moss gel definitely set really nice. And when I tell you that dessert is so nutritious and delicious, you've got to try it.